few years ago when I had the chance to come back and take over the management of our family cow herd, I knew that I wanted to try and figure out a way to make our cattle more valuable. We were looking at a lot of high input costs from high land costs, high feed costs, and everything else. And so we needed to figure out how could we make the price of our cattle higher as well. And so one of the things that we looked at, besides all of the production methods that we could change and alter at our place, was the genetics program. And how can we use genetics to make our cattle more valuable, and then how do we market those cattle? And when we started looking at our genetics program, we saw very quickly that genomics and genomic testing was going to be a way that we could find the cattle in our herd that were more valuable, that had the genetics that we were looking for, and figure out how to get more of those put back into our herd to help improve our bottom line.
My family and I see one of the biggest frustrations and challenges that we face is, in addition to dealing with unpredictable weather, especially this year, with great volatility both in the feeder cattle market as well as in the fed market, and then trying to capture the value that we put in the genetics that are in the bulls that we purchased and the females we very selectively retained for decades. Our real challenge is looking for better ways to get paid for that and to capture that value.
As a seed stock supplier, I've got one goal, and that's to help my customers put together the very best set of calves that they can. And that means buying the right bulls for their herd is extremely critical. Ranchers need to buy bulls that have predictability. They need bulls that work in their environment, bulls that maintain their maternal objectives but maximize their calves' feedlot and carcass performance. But in order to help the rancher, seed stock producers like me need to know what that cow herd base is like. What traits do they have that are strengths, and what areas of improvement do they need to focus on? And our bottom line to do that job right is we have to know that what the foundation that they have in that cow herd base. And it's just as simple that you cannot manage what you don't measure.
Hello and welcome to the American Rancher. I'm Pam MINICK. Whether we have a dozen acres behind our home in Ohio or several 100,000 acres of high desert in Nevada, once we stock that acreage with cattle, we can officially call ourselves ranchers. However, earning the right to refer to ourselves as cattlemen and cattlewomen requires the fundamental acceptance that the cattle business is first and foremost a business, one that requires specific skills, tools, and attitude in order to be successful. It's no secret, facing the economic challenges of the beef industry is no easy task. Now more than ever, cattlemen must use every tool in the toolbox to reduce risk. Therefore, the more accurately one can predict the potential feedlot performance and carcass traits of a set of cattle, the more appropriately value can be attributed to them, which means a stronger marketplace advantage to both the buyer and the seller. Today, we're going to talk about game-changing innovations that empower the industry to identify and capitalize on the value of heritable traits that directly influence feedlot performance and carcass merit. Genetic merit, combined with effective calf management practices, are the critical drivers of fed cattle closeout economics. Ensuring that we are producing what the market wants today and in the future is how all segments of the industry work sustainably together to achieve more. You're watching The American Rancher. We're glad you joined us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The American Rancher. On this program, we're going to learn about how Verified Beef's Reputation Cattle program has effectively integrated Zoetis DNA marker technology to evaluate specific traits, enabling the accurate prediction of calf group performance potential. These two industry leaders are providing beef producers with industry-evolving innovation. By characterizing each herd's unique breeding baseline, the genetic merit profile provides bidders the tools to evaluate and compare different producers' calves, specifically on the economically important traits using a 5-star rating system, as well as on an overall relative value basis, enabling buyers to quickly determine which ones best fit their feeding and marketing programs, while also providing valuable insight to account for predicted performance advantages. This allows the entire supply chain to communicate value more effectively and ultimately incentivize the production of animals that are better suited to meet marketplace demands.
Cattle feeders have long known that huge value differences exist between calf groups due to their genetic background, health, and nutrition history. They also know that cattle excel in those areas actually cost their bottom line less after factoring in savings from improved quality and performance. The genetic merit profile is centerpiece to a platform that consolidates and communicates information about the key drivers of feeder cattle value in a way that feeders can easily understand and compare.
The genetic merit profile is revolutionary because it takes into account the cross-breed economic impact of the herd's genetic merit. Zoetis partnered with Verified Beef to integrate our various genetic evaluation tools because we both understand the necessity of rolling all the genetic data together into a simple economic takeaway. Verified Beef and Zoetis share the same objective: developing cutting-edge technology that enables producers to build better cattle by accurately identifying trait strengths and weaknesses in their herd and help them get paid for such efforts.
On the production side of the cattle business, there's always been a huge gap between producers that are using progressive genetics and those that are not. However, historically, there's been no simple way to communicate accurately the full extent of that value difference to a buyer. Even when the prices we are experiencing in today's markets, the financial spread between good and poor genetics is significant.
Value starts with documented superior genetics. The economic reality is that markets go up and markets go down. We have no control over that simple truth. What we can control is the genetic merit of the cattle that we are creating. With thin margins and with the kind of dollars at stake, it's more critical than ever to have a smart genetic game plan that concentrates on producing high performance, high value, efficient cattle. Genetics sets the stage for the entire beef supply chain, and productive genetics are the foundation for mitigating financial risk.
The buyer's job is to acquire cattle that meet their management goals and marketing objectives. In order to do that well, they need a simple, effective tool that accurately defines each sale lot's performance potential, both in the feedlot and on the rail. Better performing calves should make more money for the producer because of their improved performance makes them less expensive for the buyer to feed out and produces higher quality carcasses on the rail.
At Superior, we think the more certified information a buyer has on a set of cattle, the more confident he will be to bid on those cattle. This program's not for everybody. However, this is a step in the right direction. Reputation feeder cattle is an effective tool for progressive ranchers to be able to add to their bottom line by more accurately representing their calves. On the other hand, buyers can find calves that have reliable documentation of genetics and management practices that will more consistently meet their expectations.
The genetic merit profile provides a simple platform that consolidates the genetic performance advantages of your calves. Bidders cannot just look at a group of similar appearing cattle and distinguish the genetic value differences between them. Identifying your calf's genetic merit potential, along with third-party verification of their health, handling, and nutrition management, are the best steps you can take to maximize added value in your cattle.
Verified Beef's genetic merit profile is a powerful new tool to identify the hidden value of genetic potential in today's marketplace. It revolutionizes the industry by enabling cattle buyers to bid on calves based on the value-added genetic merit for traits that dependably drive profitability on purpose. That's a true win-win. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the American Rancher. Verified Beef's Reputation Cattle Program's Genetic Merit Profile provides the pivotal performance trait information necessary to evaluate each calf group's strengths and weakness, enabling ranchers to better market their calves and work systematically with their seed stock suppliers to identify more effective bull buying.
The beef industry's genetic shortcoming or limitation is that we have had EPDs on registered bulls and seed stock, but we have not had them on commercial calves or cows. Often, ranchers have more than one breed of bull, and so they need to compare EPDs from different genetic evaluations. And many of the available EPDs aren't necessarily relevant to what a stocker, feeder buyer, or order buyer would need to know. Feeders need the relevant genetic information, consolidated into a single number to better inform value discovery.
The industry has made a lot of positive advances on the animal management side. Rotational grazing, low stress handling, attention to animal welfare, as well as significant improvements to targeted animal health products and nutritional supplements. Everyone in the system should be diligent and pay attention to utilizing best management practices at every level. Yet as important as those tools are, the data shows that in one way or another, upwards to 83% of the true value differences in feeder cattle are genetically driven.
3 generations of bulls equate to nearly 90% of the genetic makeup of a given calf group. We have always known that if we look at the EPDs on a single natural service bull, those have fairly low accuracy. Only proven AI sires have high accuracy. But if we average the EPDs on a whole bull battery, the accuracy of the average EPD jumps clear up to the rough equivalent of a bull that is a proven AI sire. So when we know the whole bull battery and can average those numbers, it becomes quite powerful.
Most breed associations offer some type of terminal index with their sire EPD profiles. These are powerful tools in the genetic evaluation of the individual bull. The genetic merit profile, however, takes the EPD trait evaluation to the next logical step and makes them relevant across breeds and on a calf group basis at the point of trade. Cow-calf producers can now bridge the gap and offer their buyers feedlot and carcass trait predictions, including the resultant projections of the difference in feeder cattle break-even value as benchmarked against the beef industry.
Bridging the information gaps, that is what it is really all about. 3 primary things make Verified Beef's Reputation Cattle Program unique. First, it's very flexible. It is applicable to all breeds and crossbred types, as well as accommodates almost any method of marketing, sale barn, video, private treaty, etc. Second, it consolidates all of the relevant information. Not only are genetics important, but all the other things as well. Animal health, handling, and nutrition have impact on value. That summary alone is great. And 3, specifically on the genetic part, it synergizes information. So you've got EPDs on lots of different traits from potentially different breeds of bulls, and in many cases gene max advantage or predict gen results on replacement heifer mates or a portion of the cow herd, and it takes all that and wraps it up in just a few numbers that can be used in feeder cattle selling and buying decisions.
Establishing your herd's initial genetic merit profile requires accounting of the historic genetic contribution of the dams and the sires. Much like the effect of compounding interest, the genetics of a herd's previous generations have an exponential influence on the herd's genetic baseline. While these calculations are extrapolable from detailed herd records, the most accurate method of evaluation is to use the genomic enhanced EPDs for the historic bull battery.
Verified Beef's Genetic Merit Profile integrates Zoetis genomic tools, such as genomic enhanced EPDs powered by I50K for the complete range of traits, along with gene max advantage and predict gen to comprehensively evaluate herd genetic potential. Using I50K for the current bull battery and gene max or predict gen from heifer mates or the cow herd benchmarks the herd's genetic baseline, as well as provides the individual animal results needed to make better informed selection and breeding decisions for future calf crops.
This process is non-breed specific. We utilize GeneMax Advantage on animals that are 75% or more Black Angus, and PredictGen on other breeds of cattle or crossbred that are less than 75% Angus. The process involves drawing a DNA sample from all of the cows or the heifer calves, and then we test a random statistical subset. In making your decision which group to work with, bear in mind that drawing the DNA on the heifer calves has dual advantages. It not only provides essential information to calculate the genetic merit profile, but you will then have individual ranking data and will aid in the selection and lifelong breeding decisions of replacement heifers.
In addition, buyer confidence inspiring health programs such as Zoetis Select Vac are well known to add value to calves. Verified Beef's Reputation Feeder Cattle program documents health and nutritional protocols on the ranch and then actively communicates this valuable information to prospective buyers, specifically targeting our stocker and feedlot network, which exceeds 10 million head of annual feeding capacity, who recognize the value of this documentation.
We hope you enjoyed our show today. Verified Beef's genetic merit profile with integrated Zoetis DNA marker technology enables ranchers to systematically improve the quality of their cow herd and the marketability of their calf crop. At the same time, the stockers and feeders reduce risk by purchasing these documented feeder cattle that come with predictable performance and a verified health and nutrition history. If you want to know more about Verified Beef's Reputation Cattle program, visit SuperiorLivestock.com or ReputationFeederCattle.com. To find out more about us, visit our website, theamericanrancher.com, or connect with us on Facebook. I'm Pam MINICK. For the entire American Rancher team, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.